I don't know about you, but I don't trust Barney for shit. First of all, he's a cop. Secondly, his best buddy is an old man running experiments on cats. And last but not least, he only owes me beer from 20 years ago? By the way, did I mention he was a cop already? Okay then, boppity boopity, here we go then. So, alright, let's see if I can stack some boxes and, get out of this mess. So this is where the game lets you ease into the basics, such as, piling up crates, tossing them around, climbing ladders, tossing yourself out the window. It's all there for us to get the hang of. Which is why I've then chosen to save the world, again, if you ask me. Man, all that MIT education and I'm surrounded by morons. Can't even stack boxes. Oh! Well, I thought for sure I would land way harder and possibly break my legs and, play the rest of the game in a wheelchair. And if you pan over here, you will see bottles of beer on top of this here barrel. Man, there's more beer in City 17 than water, which gives me a feeling that Green might be such a jackass because he's been on a 20-year bender, right? Give the man some beer. Oops, just smacked myself in the face by accident. So this area doesn't have a whole lot going on, but man, I could live here. Honestly, just set up a fire in a barrel and toss a mattress, give me enough beer, and I could spend the rest of my life here. But, duty calls and Gordon's got places to be and shit to do, so let's move on. I'm gonna close this door for now, but I'll be back. By the way, this door is weird. Well, simply because it opens both ways. Like, when was the last time you saw a door like that, opened inward, outward, but both ways? Makes no sense. By the way, there's a reason I'm carrying this box with me, and we'll get to that in a second. Let me see. For now, it's not gonna fit through. What the hell? All right, there we go. And there's another bit of the train station that's completely sealed off. It's dark. There's no one, behind that fence. And here's the best part of this entire chapter. See this Metro Cup in this can? Well, there's two ways we can go about this. And the thing is that either one will earn you an achievement. So first and foremost, you're free to do as you're told.
With all its associated hopes and fears for the future dismissal.
In that case, you pretty much chicken out and put the can back in the garbage, earning you an achievement called Submissive. Not my first choice of words, you understand, I would call it Little Bitch, but whatever.
Will they ever deactivate suppression?
Of course, secondly, we can assert our dominance over this guy. I know he couldn't assert his dominance over his own husband, but anyway, by taking up and throwing the can back at the guy, an achievement called Defiant will be unlocked for you to show off to your mom. She'll be so proud, trust me. What I like to do is mess with this guy a little before throwing the can. Have a drink from the vending machine nearby, watch some Dreamcast over there, maybe chill out on the bench, crank out some squats. Man, those glutes ain't gonna work themselves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. At the end of the day, the cop still gets that can right in his ugly mug. Now, what I personally like to do, though, is take the piss out of this guy by rage baiting him back down the stairs and back into that little alley. I can trap him behind that door using the crates provided in planning. If you're fast enough and know what you're doing, we can actually have a lot of fun with this guy. And by the way, yes, he will stay behind that door and behind that crate. Right? So there we go. Last but not least, if you simply try to shrug him off and walk back through the door you came out of, the Metro Cop will soon come chasing after you with that electric dildo, ready to do some serious damage. Now, after teaching me a lesson, he'll strut back inside the train station, feeding the Civil Protection Dispatch a code, DAN 103M. That's a failure to comply with loyalty check. Basically, from now going forward, Freeman has pretty much blown whatever little cover he might have had coming into the train station. The Metro Cops aren't quite sure who I am, not yet, but they sure as hell been talking about me on their intercom.
Revision of our genetic imperatives. It also requires planning. And
Well, truth be told, I should have raised that cop's suspicions. I mean, a civilian comes shuffling out of an area that's normally off limits right behind the police station. How did that not raise his eyebrow? But anyway, we got that little dick out of the way, and that's something to be proud of, right? I mean, gratitude supports longevity, or so they say, and Freeman's grateful beyond words.
Nail, beginning with the basis of human urges, the urge to reproduce.
Oh, the urge to reproduce. That one is my favorite.
Giving us respite from this overpower. They have thrown
You couldn't have timed it any better. Just as I said, the urge to reproduce was my favorite, that guy just came walking by saying, keep it to yourself.
our benefactors for giving us respite from this overpowering.
Will do, buddy. Will do. I mean, it's not like this place is teeming with hot honey bunnies anyway.
To overcome this compulsion, they have given
Now, look where we are now.
turned our eyes toward the stars.
And, well, this guy looks a little parched. He could use a drink.
Will be shut off on the day.
And shut off. Gee, yeah, I'm wondering when that big fucking mouth of yours will be shut off permanently.
We no longer need it.
So this is what, some kind of a local fast food restaurant or something. I see folks lined up for foodski. Let's see if I can squeeze in for a bite. Ouch! What do you... The hell do you mean get out of here? Man, you were in the guy's way. He was only here to grab a bite. Man, talk about manners. These jackbooted jackasses are one of a rare kind. Where do you think you're going, eh? I'm not done with you yet. So, yeah, see this little maze that's like made from these little fences, barriers, right? Made out of these little barriers. And we can hop over these to avoid getting beat up by City 17's finest.
You'll have to wait your turn like everybody else.
And also that dude I said was laying up for the food here has turned out to be a lady. Mind if I squeeze in right behind you? Me hungry, me cold.
Starts at the end.
So we can learn a thing or two from this, just from, you know, talking to this,
Gotta be damn hungry to wait in line for this crap. I
Karen?
don't know about you, but I'm ready to join civil protection just to get a decent meal.
Monica? Jazz. I'll just assume she's one of those and move on with that.
Line for this crap. The line starts at the end.
This is how all the good citizens of this fine city get by in terms of food. They must line up to use one of these if they are not going hungry today. So obviously not the, kind of reminds me of like the good old USSR, like way back in the day, you know, when Stalin was still calling the shots. But anyway.
2,000 years later.
Rather than try to answer every possible question you might have left.
All right. Well, it looks like I'm not getting this simple fact in here. It looks like I'm not getting any food today. So fine. Let me just get someone on, on this fine phone and tell them what a horrible service they are running here. And, well, obviously we're not getting any food today, so the only thing left to do is to just mess around with these cups, Metro cups, just for a short bit. Because, you know what? This is the last time, this might as well be the last time I see these guys. So I'm not leaving this place without, like saying a final goodbye or tossing that final can in their face or something. So, nah, where do you think you're off to? I'm not done toying with you bobbleheads. By the way, Barney must be freaking out right now just watching me on his surveillance screens. Like, what the hell is Gordon even up to out there, pissing off every Metro cop on the block? What can I say? Gorgeous Freeman hasn't been on a date in 20 years. And he's 27, so let that sink in.
Inexplicably bound to unreasoning impulse.
2,000 years later.
All right, fine. And last couple things I wanted to point out was the departures up there. Each and every one of them is codenamed as City something. So it looks like your conventional city names don't exist anymore in this world. It's all City 11, 12, and etc. So that's an interesting choice of names for your cities. I mean, for your as someone in charge of this world.
Stop that.
But whatever rocks their boat, the Combine's boat, I suppose. Oh, and by the way, watching that Breencast sheds a lot of light on how the new overlords, aka the Combine, have been treating the locals, that is, mankind. For example, humans have been forbidden from rubbing their private parts together, that is, reproduce. So there you go, we are being treated like garbage now. So this is it, this is the world we live in. All the men are bitches. Gordon is the only man with enough manhood gracing his loins these days. That's why these ladies are lining up. Metro Cops too, they can't help but lose their fucking minds around me. In exchange for our full and unwavering cooperation, the Combine have promised to grant us immortality in some distant future. Gee, you guys better hurry up with that, because the youngest human alive is at least 20 years old, and we're not making another one of our economy. Alrighty then, time to hit the road, Jack. But before I head out into the city, I'd like to pop back to say goodbye to my Metro Cop pal. You know, the one I had shut in that back alley behind the door, stacked with enough boxes to give Amazon a run for its money. Still there? Well, see you later, pal.
2,000 years later.
Oh, Jesus.
I recently received. Dear Dr. Breen, why has the Combine seen fit to suppress our reproductive cycle?
Imagine it's 2004 or 2005, doesn't matter, and you play this game and set foot out here and, you know, see this. My brothers and sisters in Christ, I'm telling you right now, you could totally count on this image to blow your panties clean down. And even though the game appears, and not only appears, but it is quite linear, right? You're not, like, you can't go wherever you want, really. It's just like, it's just a huge, think of it as just a huge, like, hallway that it's only up ahead or maybe back up the way you came, but that's it. So the game is quite linear, but back in the day, it still felt a hell of a lot sort of like open world. I don't even know why, but I remember playing this game for the first time and thinking, damn, the game is so huge, right? You can actually explore this big ass city, but it's not actually a city, really. It's just one, plaza? But, you know, I was still totally blown away. More assholes, hello, Officer Cunt.
Simple fact has far.
Also, story-wise, by now we've popped on the Civil Protection's radars. They must have run me through their databases the moment I stepped off that train, and I doubt anything tangible came back from that. So they're still not sure who I am or what my deal is, so they're watching my every step. You can count on that. So I'd better hurry up and catch up to Alex, whoever she might be. And look at that structure over there. That's the Citadel. I know that some people, not all people, but some people, you know, place it at roughly the same size as the tallest building in the world, the one in Dubai, but no, it's actually nothing like that, trust me. And by the way, you want to keep this building in mind, Cafe Baltic, because later on it will have changed its color, going from gray now to yellow later. So just keep that in mind. And speaking of the Citadel, it has been estimated to be anywhere from 2.5 all the way up to 8 kilometers tall, easily dwarfing any man-made structure we have in real life. Now, I'll be honest, 8 kilometers sounds a bit like a stretch, like a huge stretch. I would say 2.5, roughly 3 kilometers is crazy enough that it's crazy enough. And let's talk to this lady over here.
You're scaring off the pigeons.
Yes, and note she'll just try her best to shrug me off in an inconspicuous manner so as not to draw any attention. Scaring off the pigeons. I've been rejected worse in real life. If you harass her long enough, a Metro Cop should show up, you know, pretty soon, looking like Prince Charming, ready to save the dame in distress. Obviously, chit-chat is not tolerated in this brand new world, and any attempt at small talk is grounds for a shock dildo up your rear end. So, what's next? No private life, no chit-chat, all the food is gunk. What did I do at Black Mesa to deserve this new assignment? It's garbage. So, let's talk about this first area of City 17, train station plaza, is it? Don't be in a hurry to just blow through this place. There's a lot of, small details and deep cuts that we can look at. And first of all, let's pay attention to these gateways, access points, whatever you want to call them. All, each and every one of them leads to a different part of town that is a precinct. So we have precinct 13, 14, 15, and so on and so forth. Now, obviously, unless you're a citizen or live in a a permanent resident in a particular precinct, you will not be able to gain access. So all access will be barred to you. And that's why Gordon cannot get past, either of these gates, because he's not even a citizen of City 17 to begin with. He's more like an illegal alien, for lack of a better term. I'm sorry, Gordon. I know you're a celebrity, but, even Guns N' Roses had a rough patch. So there you go. So what I can do is I can take a seat right next to this fella on this bench and maybe talk to him and, catch up on some rumor around town.
Keep it to yourself. You're scaring off the pigeons.
And soon enough, he'll just get up and leave. Obviously, like I said, small talk is not tolerated in City 17. And it's not that they don't want to talk to me. I mean, who wouldn't want to have a little confab, you know, the good old 2-martini lunch with Gordon Freeman? It's just that they really don't, like, they can't. As much as they want to, they can't do that, because that's, like, you're asking for trouble if you're seen talking to someone on the streets. So let's just move around, or actually move along, and I'll show you something else. So next up the street, there's this hotel just down the way with what appears to be the entrance blocked off by a metro cop. Now, if you peer inside through that narrow slit, you might think someone is being harassed in there by other metro cops. Well, you're not wrong this time around. Now, normally you can't lure this guy away from the door to have a better look. For some reason, he'll stand firm. You would think he was bolted to the ground, but using cheat commands shows you that a small bunch of citizens are being detained with their hands on the walls. So, like I said, this town is... Alrighty then, well, there's nothing at all I can do for these fellas, poor bastards. Alright, Alex is waiting, and I'm hungry, thirsty, and horny, so let's kick it into gear. So the next point of interest in this miserable shithole of a town is just up the block and around the next bend. Whoa, what is that fucking thing? Looks like a giant turkey on legs with what looks like a big winky dangling in between. I don't know, that's the best I can describe it. And well, you can't pay me to not believe that you guys don't know already. They are called Striders.
He's known as Strider.
And we are right in front of the gate to what appears to be Precinct 15, but as always with these jackbooted cunts, they won't let me through. And should have never lied on my visa application. Next thing I know, I'll be in an illegal alien detention camp. There we go.
2,000 years later.
There's something odd about the Metro Cop perched on the APC. Unlike his buddies who are like as cranky as they get, that one is so relaxed and laid back. Lazy piece of shit must be team sergeant or something. Now, I want to see if I can get closer to look him in the eye and ask what sounds his wife will make when I'm lying with her on the beaches of Somerset Isles. If you get the joke, you get the joke. If you don't, you don't. So I'm going to use this here crate to kind of like help me get up on top of that APC, because obviously just jumping off the ground ain't gonna cut it. So I'm gonna need like a crate or something to give me a bit of a leg up, so to speak. And there we go, except I still can't get on top of that APC. What gives, right? Son of a bitch. Boppity boopity. Alright, what else can I do? Throw this pallet in his face and see what happens? You know what? Last but not least, before I finally leave this godforsaken train station plaza for good, I'm gonna try and plug up one of the precinct points of access points, gateways, whatever. And to do that, I'm gonna use this pallet and just place it right in the doorway and see if plugging up that doorway holds up or even just messes up with the traffic in any way. I really am just curious. Let's see what happens. So
2,000 years later.
There we go, and it works. I'm a fucking genius. Oh, you bitch. So, just picking up where I left off, which was right here, I was about to climb this ladder to get over the fence that holds me back from accessing the next part of town, and I just broke my fucking legs. Beautiful. Now, pan over here, and it doesn't take a genius to tell that someone is in big trouble today. Man, I'm not even 5 minutes in this town, and I've seen more people getting arrested than anyone living in Detroit in 50 years. Obviously, you can't get close enough. This guy will just... He's super cranky, right? Even just coming up the alley towards him is enough to, like, trigger him something fierce.
This is how it always starts. First the building, then the whole block. They have no reason to come to our place. Don't worry, they'll find one.
So it appears this neighborhood has been locked down and under investigation by Civil Protection.
Just be glad you don't live there. If you're looking for a place to stay, you better keep going.
Who knows the reason, right? And I'm headed right into it.
Just be glad you don't live there. Just be glad you don't live there.
We have a set of tic-tac-toe over here with a piece missing. We're going to find that piece in just a moment. But for now, I'm just going to focus on investigating this little playground. Oh God, there goes another scanner. Anyway, this playground, as soon as you approach, you will hear kind of like ghostly sounds, sort of like a child's laughter. And obviously that's just this whole playground, along with the sounds, are just a reference to the fact that there has not been a child born into this world in a very long while. So on account of the Combine having suppressed, human reproduction, so humans cannot procreate anymore. And that's actually a big question. There has been a huge debate, within the Half-Life community.
That's enough of that.
With some people saying that, the urges to reproduce are still there, as in, like, people can still have a good time, bedroom fun, whatever you want to call it. It's just that, they can't have children. It doesn't lead to pregnancies. Whereas, Dr. Breen, speaking from one of his, screens and Breencasts, he did mention specifically that, the Combines had suppressed the urge to reproduce. So, take it any way you want, but I just feel like it sounds like people don't really even want to get busy anymore. So obviously there's no getting inside that building up ahead. The two Metro Cops are going to be blocking the door, even though the door appears to be kind of like half open. But this guy will have a huge fucking stick up his ass about you even approaching, even getting anywhere close that door. Meanwhile, his partner, which I'm just assuming must be some kind of, team sergeant or something, just on account of him, looking like he's slacking off or too relaxed, while these guys out here, busting his ass off trying to catch me. So the other Metro Cop is actually very, very chill, and I'm going to show you in just a second what that means. All right, so this Metro Cop, first of all, approaching and even standing right in front of his face won't set his panties on fire. Who knows the reason? Usually these guys will push you away or zap you with their nightsticks. Now, this fella, though, is totally alright as far as that goes. In fact, not even throwing a brick in his face will seem to get a rise out of him. You can even stand on top of his head if you want to. Just keep your eye on his underling. That other guy won't like your advances. Whoa! Well, that must have hurt. Take my word for it. Alright, I guess I'm done here for now. Oh, shit. No, by the way, that doll, that beat up doll, it says mama. If you pick it up. Yeah, right? It's not clear enough to just make it out on your own, but if you turn on closed captions, yes, it does say mama, which only ramps up the creepiness factor, if you ask me. All right, so here's another shoe. All right, we already found one, and now we have just found another one. So we have 2 shoes in total that we have found in this weird city. Who knows what the deal is with these shoes, right? But you can find them here and there. Now, I lost the first shoe. I couldn't get it back, right? One of the Metro Cops back at the train station took my first shoe away. But who cares? I have another one now, so... And now that we find ourselves in this tenement or apartment complex, it looks not only decrepit, but also uninviting as hell. Already a door just up the hallway is being knocked open by a squad of Metro Cops. And something is off, and I can't help but wonder if my visa issue may have something to do with that. I mean, they may have followed Gordon to see where he would go, and so now they suspect this entire neighborhood of assisting an illegal alien, which is, by the way, me. And there's another shoe, so we have 3 shoes in total now. Ain't that beautiful? Let's pop down the hallway to check out this door. And something bad is happening behind that door. Take my word for it. It doesn't take a genius. You can hear the sounds, right? Someone is definitely getting themselves a new one ripped. And I feel like I'm being herded, by the way. I'm calling it now. This all feels like a trap, and I'm walking right into it. So instead, I'm gonna grab me a bike and cycle on out of here. Or, better yet, I'll barricade that Metro Cup so he can't get out of the doorway. Just like that, just like that. Okay, let's look around. I bet this place has a few good things to get a good look at. Which way now? Sorry, I'm a little confused. Okay, beg your pardon. Okay, so we have one apartment that's shared by many people, and let me just grab this trash can real quick and pile it onto this barricade. Just to be on the safe side. I don't want that guy, I don't want to give him, the slimmest of chances to get out of there.
Oh, I thought you were a cop.
Hello.
He's one of us.
Don't call me a stinky pig, I'm no cop.
I told you they'd be coming for us next.
Just this once, I hope you're wrong.
So yes, obviously something big and stinky and fishy is going on here. Not only this entire neighborhood, but this entire block.
Was that you knocking? I didn't even know we still had a door.
Uh-huh. You should quit drinking, Like, if you were a true man, you would be doing something else other than drowning your sorrows in booze, which I have no problem with booze, but booze is for, celebration. It's not for when you're bummed out or anything. So yeah, something big is going on, and I can't help but shake the feeling that this is all because of me. That I'm the reason these guys are about to get, every electric dildo in City 17 up their collective butt. Tell you what, shut the hell up, bitch. We can listen to the guy, but, we've heard that shit before, so just toss that garbage out of the window here, along with this table. You guys don't need it. You guys don't need this can of paint either. And look, like I said, here's the missing tic-tac-toe piece.
That's enough of that.
That someone must have pried it off of that tic-tac-toe game outside and brought it all the way out here for whatever reason. So I'm just gonna clean a little bit. Obviously, these guys are doing pretty well for themselves. They don't need half the furniture they have here. So who brought these building blocks here, by the way? Stop that. You guys don't need this shit. Also, I'm trying to hurt that APC down below. But yeah, you guessed it, by throwing chairs and building blocks at it. Go figure. You don't need this milk, you don't need that booze either, but fine.
Watch it, will you?
Shut the hell up.
Cut it out.
2,000 years later.
So I know I'm dragging my feet, but just to check off that last box on my list today, I'm gonna bring this tic-tac-toe piece back down and try to fix it back on, because I'm doing it for the children around here in City 17, for the kids of children, for the kids of City 17. There we go. By the way, look, you can't even fix it back on. What a waste of my time that is. There we go. Eat this. No, you're not. All right, so I just popped back upstairs to pick up where I left off. There is this couple. Look, they look a little distressed, and go figure, right? I said it sarcastically because everything is going to shit, and there's some guy really just cleaning all the furniture out of their apartment and tossing it out of every goddamn window. These guys are doing horribly bad, financially speaking. They don't even have a real bed. It's just a mattress on the floor. But these guys are called the consoling couple because, that's what they do. They just sit there on that lovely sofa, consoling each other.
It's gonna be okay.
What are you going to do?
Well, it's the lady's bitching about everything, and the guy is trying to console her. No offense to the lady. All right, let's pick up where we left off and finally, make some progress. I can't even speak today.
Miscount detected in your block. Cooperation with your civil protection team permits full ration reward.
So, like I said, I have a hunch that I am being herded, that somebody is out to get me. And when I say someone, I mean the civil protection. Because look, they're now blocking certain certain like staircases and stairwells and exits, obviously to lead me into a trap. You know, it doesn't take, like, Gordon Freeman has a PhD in theoretical physics, so like you would think he would have been smarter than that, you know, but I mean, I guess at this point he doesn't really have much of a choice, right? It's just, you know, play the ball one way or another. All right, so it's right through here, and look what happens as soon as you get close enough to that door. A chase is supposed to have ensued yet, but for some reason it's not happening. I don't know why.
The roof. There's no time to lose.
Oh shiz, when it rains and snows, just when I was starting to get comfortable. By the way, if you drag your feet or get cornered, that's it for you. These guys will, you know, they'll beat the living shit out of you. And when I say that, like, really, all it really boils down to is just a couple of hits. Like, Gordon is kind of a shrimp, right? He goes down without a fight. So anyway, what we're supposed to do is grab this beer and toss it out of the window. I'm kidding, you're not supposed to do that. And this TV as well, like, right out of the window, both go out of those windows. Beautiful. And yeah, everyone is getting themselves a new one rip today. So feel free to like try and maybe run away from these guys, but really, you should be really goddamn careful.
In here.
So it's not rocket science, really. The trick is to not drag your feet, one, and then, you know, don't mess around with the metro cops, two. And hey, get up. Bro, you're about to get raided. Get your ass off that fucking sofa. There we go. So yeah, the trick is to be quick on your feet and not fall behind, right? Because if you get cornered, that's it for you. So up this stairwell. Come on, guys. You guys are dragging feet. Come on, over here, Eddie.
Attention, residents.
Eddie. Oh shit.
This block contains...
Keep moving. Head for the roof.
Keep
going.
Info. Cooperate.
Go on. Keep going.
2,000 years later.
So, by the way, this whole, like, guy piling onto the door to hold the Metro Cops back is kind of scripted, right? Like, you saw it yourself. Those Metro Cops could have easily, you know, like, forced their way through the door, no problem. But for some reason, they chose to, like, stand outside the door while I slipped through. Makes no sense. Also, I'm now lost in these two walls. I don't know where to go. Oh my god, no, where? Dude, I'm trying to be helpful. I don't know where to go. Up here. Load in, son of a bitch.
2,000 years later.
All right, I'm back. Let's not dilly-dally another second and get the hell out of here. Obviously, that guy is going to hold the Metro Cops back. Good, but as soon as you're up here, you will hear some gunshots. So that's it. That's it for that guy. Let's cover up this hole that leads up to the attic while I make a run for it across the rooftops. But, you know, that's not going to throw them off for a very long time. And yeah, feel free to mess around on this rooftop. Obviously, this game is look, oh my god, I've stirred up hell. Is that all me? Is that all for me? Like all those helicopters and gunships and stuff? Shit, that's insane. So anyway, up here on the rooftop, we can, for the first time, take down some Combine. And by taking down, I mean literally, we can knock down this scanner simply by throwing stuff at it. These cans of paint, those, and if your aim is good enough, right, and if your throw finds its mark, the scanner will soon, kind of fall apart. And if you're lucky enough, you will find a battery. So I'm gonna bring this battery along because I'm gonna need it for later for my, well, you'll see it in just a second. So yeah, up across here, across this rooftop. Gordon is a real troublemaker. Let me tell you that much. By the way, yes, there was a reason I kind of threw the battery at those birds, because sometimes they can be taken out just as well. Like obviously, it's the battery. It's not a real object, so it has no real collisions for birds. But if you were to throw, let's say, a can of paint, and again, your aim was good enough, you might be able to kill one of those birds. Take it from me, this stairwell leading down from the attic looks like a trap waiting to happen. And look what I mean by that. Yes, it falls apart as soon as you step on it, obviously cutting you off from going back up the stairs. But if you were to grab a pallet and place it, just like that, you would be able to, come back up into the attic, but suddenly 2 Metro Cops are going to be there to say hello. So yeah, you can mess with them by, placing some objects between, yourself and their zapping dildos. Or you can like stand maybe on top of this crate over here. That's not going to stop them for a very long time, obviously, right? But you know, what are you guys doing? Are you mating or something? Yeah, so eventually you're gonna be taken out, like it or not.
Over here! Ha, no, you don't.
Right? There's no avoiding that.
Dr. Freeman, I presume.
For you, baby, I can be anything. And thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Take care of yourself, guys.